Hey, everybody, it's your girl, April Marie, and welcome to Handle Her with Care podcast. I'm so excited that you decided to join me today. I have an intense episode here for you, but this is a space and this is for us. So, welcome. Before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you to the place where I create my podcast. 661 Creator Space. This place is amazing. They have the best multimedia needs that they meet for me and a whole bunch of other people. So if this is your platform, if podcasting is your thing, this is the place for you. I also want to give a quick shout out to @myhairhoney. You can find us on Instagram for all of your hair care needs. Okay, hair growing, hair flowing, all of that. We got you. So find us on @myhairhoney on Instagram, and you can replenish your growth oil. You can get any of our new products that we will be coming out this summer. And I'm just so excited to, of course, have that for you because that's why I make it, for all of us to be growing and flowing, right? All right. Now that that's out the way, I got to call order to this shit. What the fuck is going on? Okay? I am so. It's like I woke up and our world as women has been completely affected and shattered and dismantled. What the fuck, bro? Okay. Now that I've got my good cusses out the way, let me just say this episode is intense, but it is only for us to gain knowledge, right? Like I do study, I research, I check and check again to make sure that the things that I'm sharing with you are real so that we can have insight, so that we can use our discernment, so that we can be more educated and more informed. That is the reason why Handle Her with Care exists. Not only for us to take care of ourselves, but for us to know how to better take care of each other, right? That's the goal. So this topic today is very serious, but it is very near to my heart. Today we will be discussing 3 different types of abuse that has plagued our lives as women, and it's taking our media by storm, right? So a lot of people are finding it interesting. A lot of people are doing a lot of research. And I just feel like as women, we are in crisis right now. Violent crimes against women are at an all-time high. So this episode here at Handle Her with Care is not to cause fear, right? But it is to bring awareness. Because we have to know how to take care of ourselves, not only in a sense of self-care where we, are making sure that we're taking our grounding practices and that we're journaling, right? And we're going on retreats and we're taking care of ourselves in that way. But also, are we looking out for our sisters and are we making sure that things in their relationships are good and on the up and up? Are we checking in, right? Like, is this a safe space for check-in, or do I have to also like uh give you reasons why, he's a good guy? Are you going to be on his side? Are you going to take their side over my side? Uh, are you not going to hear me out? Are you going to blame me for the things that's happening to me? I need to know where my safe spaces are because they're absolutely not in the street. And for some of us, they're not even at home. So, how can we be better for each other? This is how. This is where. This is a safe space for you. Handle Her with Care was birthed out of the need for a safe space for women, period. This is your soft landing. So again, welcome. Whew. All right. That being said, let's dive into the first topic of the day. Have you heard of an Alpine divorce? Yes? No? If not, that's okay. That's why I'm here. An Alpine divorce is where a partner leaves someone stranded on a hike in hopes that they will die and that their marriage can be dissolved that way. It's dangerous, intentional abandonment. It's let me take my wife, my girlfriend, mostly my wife, up to the woods and bludgeon her to possible death and leave her to be possibly what? Eaten by animals or not be able to find her way back and fall out and die in the woods, right? Not on a path, but off a path or down a cliff, right? Like in a canoe down the just push her off into the water and watch her try to fight for her life. These things are happening constantly and more often than it's even talked about because these crimes are committed against women. Okay. It's trending because women are sharing real life experiences. The men are expecting the women to die, but some of them aren't dying. The attacks are brutal, and they're being pushed off of cliffs or bludgeoned with hard objects and left for dead. This is insane. This is what we call an Alpine divorce. This is not just a term that's happening, and for some, it has been working, and the women have been dying. Um, and then we see articles in the news where the men come back from vacation and they're crying and they're like, my wife, I don't know what happened. She just slipped and fell. My wife, she tripped and I couldn't carry her out and I went back for her and she was gone. My wife couldn't swim, so she had on a life jacket, but somehow she's floating down the river without a life jacket. I mean, the stories and the scenarios are ongoing, but the question is, if someone can leave you in the mountains injured on purpose, this is a person you're supposed to be committed to for a lifetime. And instead, they're trying to discard you like old trash in the middle of the woods with, injured. Okay, right? So, Alpine divorce. Pay attention to signs and symbols. How hypervigilant can we even be? I don't even know how to prepare us for those types of incidences where, we're going on a family vacation and then I don't come back because you've decided to leave me here for dead. Like, I don't know how to prepare you for that because the idea that there's some sort of diabolical, right? Like intention. And we've been hiking and playing and swimming together for years. And now this is what you do to me? No. All right. So the next one, and I ask you to put your seatbelt on, right? There has been an unprecedented amount of murders of Black women just in the month of April 2026 alone. And I just need to know if y'all know that murdering your wife does not make you a part of a community. This is real violence. Like the violence against women, specifically Black women, is at an all-time high. And for me, it's like by the very people that were supposed to love us, protect us, build with us, nurture us, guide us, lead us, right? Affirm us, care for us. The man that we're supposed to lay our life down and say, you know what, honey, I take up our charge as a family. I'm having children with you, right? I love you. I take care of you. And in return, I ask the question, where are we safe? Black men in these marriages, um, where are we safe? Black women, where are we actually safe? What can we actually do to safeguard ourselves? What can we do to safeguard ourselves besides not be in relationship with anybody? Because it's not just Black men that's harming Black women, it's white men that's harming Black women as well. And I say harming because unaliving, uh, you know, I that I'm a millennial, okay? I'm used to saying the other words. So I'm getting in practice of saying unaliving. But where are we safe? If the man that they say is supposed to love us are the ones that are unaliving us. Okay, these are real cases. In 2026 alone, this is literally happening right now. Dr. Serena Wanzer Fairfax, she's 49 years old, was 49 years old. She was unalived by her estranged husband. And I'm not giving the names of the men because it's irrelevant. He's irrelevant. But she, Dr. Serena Fairfax, she was unalived by a murder-suicide. So not only did he take her life, but he took his life, and in the home where their family was and their children were as well. Pastor Tammy McCullen, shot by her husband inside of their home. She was 58. Nancy Matire Bowen, she was 38. She's the vice mayor. She was killed by her husband, and he was charged. Raven Edwards, 34 years old, killed by her former partner, and their child was wounded, and he took their son. So he shot the mother, killed her, unalived her, and then he wounded their child and then kidnapped their son. I mean, Ashley Robinson, 31, she was found unalived abroad, and her fiance is under investigation. I mean, I'm not going into huge details because if I'm completely honest, the details on all of these murders are very vague. And I believe that it's because they're Black women. They have details, but they're not as in detail as I would want for them to be in order to really gather information to learn what the patterns were or what was going on, the domestic violence that was happening during the stint of the relationship, if any. Were there any markers or indicators of problems? Do we know? Because if we don't know, how can we safeguard ourselves against these types of incidences? As wives, right? As mothers, as girlfriends, how do we safeguard ourselves against these types of things happening to us? Right? There's no guide. There's no pattern. There isn't one for the Alpine murders as well. There's no pattern to say, okay, if you do A, B, or C, you will not be affected here. There isn't that. So it's basically a case by case, person by person basis. Okay. Qualisha Sadidi Barnes, a rapper, 36 years old. She was pregnant and she was shot in Atlanta. Again, not a lot of details. There were some, but I didn't feel comfortable sharing those details because they really don't matter. She was shot by a significant other in Atlanta, Georgia. Ashanti Allen, she was 23 years old. She was 8 months pregnant, and she was found deceased, shot by a significant other. And then there's Barbara Deer, 51 years old, killed in a murder-suicide by her partner, significant other. The only pattern that I can say is that these aren't strangers. None of these men were strangers. None of them. These are partners, husbands, and fathers. There's no pattern. Just men, just man. What is it going to take to leave when you feel like you're losing control, men? What is it going to take just to walk out? You walk out. You can leave. You're not beholden to the situation. You don't have to stay if you're feeling some sort of rage coming on. You can extract yourself from that. You do not have to sit there and take the life of the woman that you say that you love or loved. I saw a post the other day and it said 1 minute of no discipline can result in a lifetime of consequences. 1 minute is all it takes to pull a trigger. That's all it takes to use a weapon of some sort, to do something that you can never, ever take back. But you have to train yourself, men, to be disciplined in these types of situations where you feel your testosterone rising, your rage coming on, your anger coming on. There are things that you can do as preventative measures for your own self and your own well-being, like for the rest of your life as well. I mean, you've taken the life of your significant other, your wife, the person you vowed to protect and love. They're now not here at your hands, right? So black women, we have to start using discernment, right? More to do. We have more to do, ladies, more to do. What else can we do, right? So one, let's go. We have to start using some more discernment, Doggone, in a minute, we're going to need a crystal ball to see what is going on here. Like, how do we know what is actually happening? We don't. Stop keeping secrets or shutting down, right? So we have to start sharing with one another. Do you think this is weird, sis? How do you? Well, the other day when I came home, I saw some ropes on the counter and I don't know. Okay, being facetious, but you understand. Use your discernment. Stop keeping secrets from one another. Share with your family members, the ones that you can trust, right? The ones that won't overjudge but will listen and really help you come to an educated decision on what's best for you. Really, really, okay? Let's see. If you're unsure about how things are going or the feelings that you're having, share. You can DM me and we can have a whole conversation. I have no vested interest in your relationship besides me wanting the very best for you, me wanting you to be happy. Right? Okay, so I would like to say alert the authorities. But sometimes it can be sticky, so definitely alert the authorities, but also alert a friend, right? Also alert family that something's going on and it seems suspicious to you and that you want to kind of get another ear to hear or to see what's happening in these moments. And then the question is, where are we safe? Where if you asked me to marry you and I said yes, we had a beautiful wedding. It could be big or small. You get me into this relationship, into this marriage where I'm supposed to be dependent upon you for my safekeeping and the safekeeping of my heart, right? We've had children together. And after 5, 6, 7, 10 years, 15, 20 years, you decide that you no longer want me. So you either take me up to the woods to discard me as trash, or you unalive me in our home around our children. I have to pause because I don't know what else to say. I have to pause because that is, in fact, crazy. And the fact that it's not like just one incident, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's multiple, it's all over the place. It's happening right up under your nose. No longer can we say, well, those are good guys over there. These are the bad ones. Even the good guys got to check the bad ones, right? Like, otherwise, you're complicit with the bad guys. I mean, can we stop the conversation? Man, I hate my wife. She gets on my nerves. Can we stop that? Can we say, bro, let me holler at you for a second? Well, I don't think you should say you hate your wife. If you hate your wife, maybe you shouldn't be with your wife. Well, no, man. No, I just mean, well, say what you mean. And it's the conversation of, I'm going to say it as loud as you said it. If you say publicly at the water cooler at work, man, I hate this bee. I can't stand her. I'll probably just whatever disgusting thing comes to your little brain, then the other men that are around need to stop being like, yeah, scared to stand up. No, no, sir. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to say out loud, just as loud as he said that, to say, I don't think you should say that about your wife, man. Hey, around here, man, we love our wives. If you don't like her, if you no longer want to be with her, don't. Move on, bro. Get a divorce. Save yourself. You don't have to be stuck with a woman you don't like. You could say that. I wouldn't say that out loud, bro. You don't say that about your wife. We love women around here. We're thankful for women. Like, stop just saying, "Oh, I love my wife." It's not funny. It's not funny. It's just not funny. Stand up for women. Stand up for what is right, even in the face of a barrage of men who are saying, "Man, you're such a goody two shoes, man. Why are you saying that?" Like, we're just saying, we have to be able to relate to one another, and we can have community, sir. We can be together in this moment of you are having a hard time at home, but that does not necessarily mean that you hate your wife. What that could mean is that you may need counseling, therapy. Let me refer you to my therapist. Me and my wife go, this is the conversation. This is how you build community on positive, affirming notes. All right, next topic. The digital culture of abuse. Oh my God. It's too much. This is just this day. You guys don't even understand. I am just so disgusted. Okay, so let me just take you down the rabbit hole, because it is a rabbit hole. 62 million people visited platforms promoting abuse. Rape Academy. That's the title of this specific site. Rape Academy, right? Behavior happening in group chats. This behavior is happening in group chats. This behavior is happening, and it is becoming a culture, and it is becoming a community. And they're learning, taking notes on how to rape their wives. So what's being exposed on these rape academies is that men are encouraging each other to drug women, assault their wives, and share the tactics on how to get away with it. I just don't get it. They're normalizing building this community around violence against women. And it's more than just disgusting. It's so disturbing and disheartening. Because the fact that you feel like you have to drug me or drug a woman, put her to sleep by putting sleeping pills or whatever types of drugs in her tea, smoothie, whatever, and handing it to her. "Hey, baby, I made this for you. I love you. Mwah. All right. Yeah, I'll see you in the bed." And then when she gets in the bed, you're checking her eyelids to see if she's awake. Bro, what? And then you're proceeding to rape her in her sleep. Now let's get into this, because I hear people say weird things all the time, and they'll say things like, "Well, it's your wife. You can't rape your wife." What? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. What? That's your girlfriend. Like, that's yours. You can do whatever you want. I mean, no, you can't. What? What is that? Okay. So the original case happened in 2024, I believe. It was in France. The case where the husband drugged his wife and then he invited dozens of men to assault her. Over 200 assaults involving 70 men. And not all of them, because it's all like IP addresses and stuff like that, could be tracked down and arrested. They couldn't be. But this wasn't hidden in isolation. This was organized, shared, and normalized. Shared. Okay. So online were the visuals of this happening to this woman, and it was at the hands of her husband. So modern platforms, now we're in 2026, right? So it's kind of upgraded, and it's called sleep content. So sites are hosting thousands of videos of women that are unconscious, and the labels and the hashtags are such as like passed out or sleep. Okay. Millions of viewers, many in the US. So I remember from an article that I read, and I cannot quote, right, but I did read it, saying that the majority of the viewers were here in the United States. So another disturbing layer is that people are selling substances worldwide. This is not just in the United States. This is worldwide. They're selling the substances worldwide to drug women. And their messaging for the drugs are, she won't feel anything and she won't remember anything. What is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this? Control? Is it that you don't have control? You feel like you have no control. And so then you must sedate and dominate your wife. Is it because you don't like the word no? Does no do it for you? Does no piss you off? No pisses you off. Which brings me to my next point, which I'm sure is further down my notes, but now I am on a roll. I taught my sons the importance of accepting the word no. As a man, it is really hard to sit with a limitation, to sit with a boundary, right? Because men are taught to be competitive, to climb over the boundaries and dominate. Okay? But not here in this space. When women say no, I don't care if it's, oh, baby, oh, I was up with the baby all day. I it's just not tonight. That no pissed you off to the point where let me make you a tea because you will, because you're mine. Is that it? Just asking. Because I would like to know what is this? Sit with the no. So when Caleb and Carter would be like, can we go to the park? And I would say no. And I could tell that it burned them up. It burned you up that I said no. I said, oh, God, you're angry at the no. Sit with that. How does that feel? Tell me. I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm just trying to be open. How does that no feel? I want to know. I don't like it. It feels, yeah, I get it. Absorb it. Because my no is her no. And her no is her no. And they all mean absolutely no. Not now. This is not what I want. And it's your job to hear her and not do the things. And drugging her and making her and then taping her and then sharing her is all because you heard no and it pissed you off, or you heard that she was doing well at her job and that upset you, or you see that she's very, very, very efficient and good around the house and she doesn't need your help. She desires you to be here and she desires you to be in her space, but she doesn't need that. And so that irritated you to the point where now you have decided to degrade her in a very, 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 very different way. This is premeditated abuse, and this is a market. People are paying to watch it. People are paying for the drugs to try it. And I don't think people are angry enough. I don't think people are angry enough. I don't think people are angry enough. Because I think that it's a lack of discipline, self-discipline. It's a lack of self-control. And it's a by any means necessary, I will get what I want, regardless of what you want. I'm going to still have my say, and you'll see. You're going to give it to me. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. The question is, what is it going to take for men to say, and I have to go back because remember, I've already gone over this because I was so pissed off. What is it going to take for men to stand up and say, don't talk about women like that? Hey, bro, I don't want to see that. Don't share that. Shut it down. Or that's not okay. Bro, that's not okay. Like, what? You don't say that. We love women around here. We love women around here. We appreciate women here. We value women here. Because what is it taking away from you to value a woman? What is it taking from you to care and provide real protection for a woman? What does it take away from you to be in a space with women and to stand up for her when men are attacking her verbally and being inappropriate? What would it take for you to do that? Silence is participation. It is. When they're talking like that and you lower your head and you cower down your eyes and you don't stand up for what's right, and they're like, oh, do you want me to send it to you too, bro? And you're like, oh, I mean, it's not my thing really, but you can't. Huh? What? Oh my God. It's just no. And give me your phone. Delete that. You know what? Don't expose yourself to that, man. That's not cool. We don't do that. Vocal, loud. So not only you can say it and hear it, but other people can hear it too, including the one who said it, including the one who's sharing it. Accountability must happen in conversations, in group chats, at work, and in friendships. Is it really a friendship if, people are sharing things that aren't right and aren't going to be beneficial to their lives either, and you sit back and you watch them foil? Men, I'm specifically speaking to men at this moment, even though my audience is women. I mean, share it with a man, please. Share this conversation. Have this conversation with your sons. Share this episode with your sons. Because the culture of consciousness has to happen at some point. The conversation of morals and values, let's revisit it. Let's bring it back. Because what are we doing? Men want, and I can only say this because of what I've been reading and hearing, belonging as well as women. They want community and they also want validation. But this community that they have concocted is rooted in misogyny, and it reinforces harm of women, violence towards women. Why is that the thing we're standing on? Why is that the thing that we're excited to share? Why is that the thing that we're saying, oh yeah, man, hey, oh, you hate your wife too? What? That's what we're going to come together on? That's the community that we're building? Okay. All right. When you're raising your sons, even men, really, I want to say men, come on, teach them to advocate for women, right? So not just to avoid the harm, not just look away and, well, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I'm not that guy. No, interrupt it. The guys that are, man, F you. And you right. We are gonna fight about this because you're not about to degrade women. I'm not about to sit here and let you talk about her like that. I don't care if she is our boss and she gets on our nerves. I'm not about to let you talk about her breasts. I'm not about to let you talk about her hair and her ass. I'm not gonna let you. Absolutely not. Those topics are off the table, bro. Now, if you want to talk about her leadership skills, fine. She's not whining, she's not crying, she's not PMSing. She's just a woman and she's in charge of us and she's giving us instruction that's literally in the book. She didn't make it up. She's just our boss. She is not a piece of meat. Where are we safe? Interrupt it. Teach your sons not to just avoid it. Well, she didn't say nothing to me. He didn't say that to me, so I don't know. I'm just going to slowly walk out of this frame. No, stay in frame and interrupt it. Knock that camera over. Shut this down. We're not doing that. Don't film that. Bro. We stand up for women. Even if that's just the one word, the one phrase that you have perfected. Nah, bro. We stand up for women here. If that's your one perfected sentence that says, stop this foolishness, take it. Take that. Take the phrase. Nah, bro. We stand up for women here. And use it at the water fountain. Use it at the desk, right? Use it while they're mixing concrete on the construction yard. Use it in the tech labs. Use it in the labs. Use it in the hospitals. Use that phrase then. If that is the only one that makes you not feel so aggressive towards your bros. But there has to be a checks and balances for your bros. Because we, women, are being affected. And if you care about women at all, or if you've ever loved a woman, your mother, your sister, your grandmother, even if it wasn't your mother, even your grandmother, then just think of these types of things happening to them, and then somehow in your heart, if that right, then I need you to find that. Because we're dying at alarming rates. And it's not just like, oh, any old random woman. These are people that are mothers. These are women that are accomplished. These are women that are Black. These are women that are loving and warm and have nurtured and cared for you for years, right? And I'm not absolving women of whatever abuse that they may do, right, or have done. Not at all. This is not the show for that. Right now, we're talking about y'all. Right now, today, we're talking about men and the way that men have been treating, discarding, and abusing women. It's got to stop. So I've been hearing a lot in the comments because, I had to create some reels about this. But, the core message was it's not all men. That's what I've been hearing. And I just want to say what this statement is so diabolical because it removes responsibility from the men. It removes responsibility for checks and balances. It says, well, it wasn't me. I'm not like that. But you know somebody who is, though. Hello? You do. If I know some people that are like this, and when I say I know, like in passing, right? I've absolutely heard horrible locker room talk. And I just be like, ooh, let me get away from here. Because they're a problem, you could tell. I saw some men at Starbucks yesterday, and I was like, I'm preparing for this topic. Please leave me alone before I literally I don't even know, just run out of my skin because it's scary, right? A group of men at Starbucks made me feel like I wanted to run out of my skin. Where are we safe? Where? So stop absolving yourself of the responsibility, men, This is your culture. These are your guys. Tell your friends to tell a friend to pull up on, handle her with care, right? Men, you must hold each other accountable. There must be a shared standard amongst your group and community that says we do not abuse women. What are you gaining? That's the question. What are you gaining? What is it doing for you? I would like to know. What does it do to abuse a woman? To you, for you? What is that? Someone who can barely defend themselves against you. Does that feel good? I don't know. I guess it's a bullying concept or an idea. And I guess it's the same for child abusers. But I just, what does it do for you to abuse women? Okay. So that needs to be the stance, the shared standard, the shared idea, right? Like, we do not abuse women. That's the standard. So it's abuse them mentally, physically, sexually, spiritual abuse. Like, we follow God and I can have multiple wives and whatever that is, right? whatever that is. And we can beat multiple wives and have babies with all of them and cheat on everybody and whatever that religion is, okay? That's spiritual abuse, mental, emotional, physical abuse. Stop it. And women, we have to use our discernment, another layer, right, that we have to protect ourselves against. So the impact on women of all of this foolishness, because that's what we really want to get down to. The nitty gritty is the impact that it's having on women. And we are the ones who are bearing your children. We are the ones that are furthering this world. Maybe that's the problem. Without us, where could human civilization go? Nowhere. It stops with us. I don't know if that's understood. It's strange. Because if you keep killing women and they're not able to bear children, then how do we further civilization? And that's not all we're good for. Hear me clear. I'm just asking that question specifically. The bigger focus is that this isn't just about what men are doing. Mm-mm. It's about what women are now forced to live with. Okay? Constant awareness. And let me tell you, it's exhausting being constantly aware. It is so tiring to have to be on all the time. My son says, Mom, have your head on a swivel. You're going outside. Have your head on a swivel. Okay? Because strangers, partners, husbands, boyfriends, in some cases, sons, can harm you, unalive you, take advantage of you physically, and so the effect that it's having on women, right, is that our nervous system is impacted severely because of the hypervigilance. So the fear of not just rape but physical harm is layered into our daily life. So get this. I was driving, and where I was driving from, there is very scenic. And I was like, OMG. I had my tripod in the car. I was like, OMG, this is everything. Like, this mountainscape is beautiful. I would love to get out of the car, and I would love to take some photos, some stills. Oh, right. Set the timer and just go for it. I just wanted to feel like fabulous and beautiful in this beautiful mountainscape. And as I was driving, I was like, okay, well, there's a turnoff here. And I was like, no, hold on. Sober thought. I was excited. And then I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't get out of the car on a desert scape highway? Because 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 what if a man comes? I didn't think of a mountain lion. I didn't think of a bear. I didn't think of any of that. I said out loud, because I talk to myself. I don't respond, but I talk to myself, okay? You got to talk to yourself now. I said, what if a man comes? Or what if it's multiple men? And then in my head, it was like a pickup truck of like 50 guys. I don't know. My imagination went wild. And they got out the car. Now I'm driving, by the way, so this is all just a visual like flash of me thinking I'm having a great time, little black girl on the side of the road, because it was beautiful mountains. It was such crisp air. It was morning. It was dewy. Let me tell you, it would, if I would have had a team with me, it was a photographer's dream, period. And all of these thoughts came to my head, but before I knew it, I was just gripping the steering wheel and I was just driving, and I was shaking my head and I was like, nope, won't be doing that. Because in my head, I didn't make it out of that scenario. Right? By the time I knew it, I was gripping the steering wheel and I was shaking my head and my shoulders were up and I was like, girl, get a hold of yourself. You cannot go outside. I don't care what time of day it is. No, it's morning. Seems like it would be safe. It's not. Get that out of your head. You will not be doing that. The world is not ours. The world is not ours because there's people that want to take us from here. So we have to be hyper vigilant, girl. Right? You got to be layered in fear. And that's just not how I want to live. Check your boys. Get a hold of yourself so that we can live in a world where if I'm driving and I decide to pull off on the road and take a couple of pictures, I can actually get back in my car safe and sound. Instead, I had a visual of like 5 guys on the back of a pickup truck jumping out. Hey, little girl, what you doing out here? Huh? That's the vision I had. And I'm not even afraid. Like, I don't live in fear. God, Jesus said, I did not give you the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. If I misquoted it, Lord, you know my heart. I don't live in fear. But I had that nightmare while I was awake. And it checked me from doing it. And I didn't. Okay? So that's what it does to us. Who can we trust? You get married and you think all is well. All is well. This man loves me, right? This man loves me. This is what you think. And the Alpine happens, right? The Alpine murder happens, or the Alpine divorce happens, excuse me. And or they're crushing up sleeping pills and knocking you out and then raping you in your sleep. Let's just say, so that, because I hear some objections. It's not really rape. Why does she keep saying that? I can hear that. So let me get ahead of that and say that rape is any non-consensual penetration. The key components are lack of consent or incapacity to consent due to being drugged or being unconscious. This includes coercion, force by a partner, acquaintance, or assailant. Fun fact, it's not so fun. It's actually horrible. Over 90% of victims know their attacker. What? 90%? So that's another added layer of this. The other added layer is, dang, I've been with my husband for 10 years. I've known my boyfriend for 5 before we decided to become, a couple. Now we together and we live in life and everything is beautiful. And you're drugging me in my sleep. So just a reminder, marriage does not equal consent. It doesn't. Fiance does not equal consent. And the relationship does not equal ownership. So, some people when they're doing their thing and having sex with their partner say, "Ooh, it's yours." Yeah, okay, but for the context of whatever, do I have to put a disclaimer? Do I have to write it down? I mean, it's yours. I'm just saying that right now, and it's fun because it's just making me feel like, "Ooh, it's yours, daddy." But then really, it's not yours for real, okay? You can't have it when I don't say you can, right? Like, it's yours because I'm not letting anybody else play in it, but it's not yours literally. Do we have to sign paperwork so that we understand that? I just want to be clear because this is the problem with the 62 million, is that it's not to say, 62 million on that continent over there. We don't know who the 62 millions are. They're walking around with us. Okay? The 62 millions is walking around the world with us and their husbands and their spouses and their boyfriends and their friends. So does that mean that I have to make my own tea for a lifetime? Let me find out. That I have to make my own smoothies at night or whatever for a lifetime. Let me find out that I can't take a cup of water from my husband. What? Let me find out that we have to have separate bedrooms and I got to have a deadbolt because you don't understand the word no. It's preposterous. And that's how I want it to sound. I mean, that is how I want it to sound. I want it to sound like what? Like this is a horror story because it is. Okay, we defined rape. All right, we talked about our sons. All right. So I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday and she was saying that she heard a pastor say at a sermon she attended that the coldest place on earth is not Antarctica, right? It's not Greenland. It's not the North Pole, South Pole even. I don't know, wherever Will Smith went, South Pole, North Pole. Whatever was covered in ice. It's not there. Mm-mm. That the coldest place on earth from this pastor's perspective and what resonated deeply with her is the human heart. Because the fact that this is not just an isolated incident, guys, we're not hearing this from, from far away. Now, it's very close to home because we don't know. And there are no straight up facts on what we can do to protect ourselves or how we can spot a killer or a drugger. Right? Like there's no way to spot these types of men. We can only pray that our guy is not one of them. We can only pray that our guy stands up at the water cooler or at the concrete mixer or at the tech desk and says, "No, man, we stand up for women here. No, man, we respect women here. No, bro, we respect women. We take care of women here." We can only hope that that's our guy. And he's not cowering to say, "Yeah, I mean, you could send it to me. I might not look at it, bro. I'm not into that kinky kind of stuff." We can only hope that our man is the one saying, Sharon, what? Y'all crazy. Don't make me turn you into HR. No, for real, bro. Like, that's really crazy. You gonna drug your wife? For real, bro? That's the conversation. We can only hope. And so that's why I believe what that pastor said when he said that the coldest place on earth is the human heart. I believe that because the types of things that can happen in an instant, the types of things that can happen in a blink of an eye, the man that you say that you love and that loves you and you've born children together and all of those things can turn around and leave you in the woods or turn around and drug you and rape you and show everybody and or just kill you. Huh? the human heart. And that's why God says that we need to renew our minds daily, right? And for women, we know this is why the Lord says we need to cast our cares on him, because he cares for us. So yes, we can be vigilant. Yes, we can have hypervigilance. Yes, we have to warn each other and talk to each other and share the information and use our discerning spirits. Yes, we have to be very, 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 very aware of our surroundings at all times, because it could be him, him, him. It could be him, 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 or him. We don't know, right? The him we know or the him we don't. It could be any of them. But we still have to live, right? We still have to try to have a good time. We still have to be, able to trust somebody. And so I have to say I have to trust on the Lord, and I'm going to have to just cast my cares on him, because I know he cares for me. And then he will do with, what he's always done, is protect me. And I have to continue to pray that he will do that for you and for me continuously. Because, I shared the other day on Instagram, it was this post, and this lady, she asked universities all over the world, if you are a victim of sexual assault or abuse, stand up. Okay, did you report it? And everybody sat down, because nobody reported it. Nobody shared it. And that's why I'm here to say, please share, please report, right? So not only do we need the men to do their checks and balances with each other and build a community that is anchored in, a standard of we handle women with care, but we also need women to, if something were to happen to you, to say something out loud, right? If you see some weird behavior, mysterious things happening, run it past somebody so that you can confirm, because you're not crazy. If you keep waking up and you're feeling like groggy and like, man, I just didn't sleep well at all. I couldn't even, oh my God. This is the time to say, what did I do? What? Start probing, asking questions, right? Share the information. Last night I had a really weird night. I don't know. I had some tea that my husband made me, my boyfriend made me, and then I was just out. Like, I couldn't even think. I'm not having no more tea. Discernment. I don't want it. I don't think that's a good blend for me. Honey, no, I'm good. Thank you, boo. I made my own tea. Because we don't know what that was. It was not a good combination for me. We have to start using discernment. The fact that we have to use it the way we have to use absolutely sucks. There's no other better way. I don't have another word for it. It sucks. But we must use it, and we must be very forthcoming with information so that we can be safe. Because all of these things didn't happen in a dark corner of the web. All of these things aren't happening in a dark corner of a coffee pot talk. All of these things aren't happening in a small, tight area at a construction site. They're loud and proud with it. And so we have to use our loud and proud voices to say, something's happening that I don't like, and I'm not going to sit here for it. I'm not going to sit here with it. I don't have to. You don't have to be afraid to raise those kids by yourself. I did it, and I don't want you to. But hey, you're alive. You're not being drugged. You're not being tortured. You're not being abused physically. I have to ask these questions. Is it not enough, honestly, that we fear strangers? Fear strangers, like you're taught to fear strangers. Is it not enough that we protect our drinks? If you're out, you're protecting your drink. You got to put a towel over it, cloth. Your hand stays on the top. They tell you, oh, use a cup condom. That's a new company. Right. Watch my drinks, guys. And all your friends are like this. I'm watching drinks. Because you got to make sure that nobody's doing anything, or just discard it. I'll buy another one. So now your bar tab is up because you turned your back for a second. And who the heck knows if somebody, including your spouse, put something in it? Okay. Is it not enough that we have to move in groups as women, that we must stay together, holding hands, going to the bathroom, holding hands, going to the dance floor. What? Just like, I'm tired just talking about it. I'm exhausted. What? Now we must fear our partners and in our homes. So again, I have to ask the question, when are we safe? Another layer to that question, where are we safe? And the additional question is, what can we do? So we talked about it already, but again, stay vigilant. Trust your intuition. Move with discernment. The hard truths, right? And like we talked about before, you can fix your own drinks. You can be aware of your environment. You can learn self-defense, right? You can get a weapon. You can have a taser. You can purchase a firearm. You can go the direct route and get a black belt. You can exercise every single day. You can be a runner, a fast runner. You can wear spikes to bed just in case you got to get up out the bed and run. Like, when does the relaxation ever happen for us? Okay. So, you don't know who's unsafe, but the clear and my closing message for this topic is that there is an attack on women. I know that it is an attack because of who we are and what we bring to this life, right? And really what we can do is restore in order to find peace so that we don't live in a space of resentment. So restoration begins with self. It begins with some sun, some feet in the ground, feet in the grass. Yeah? It begins with prayer. It begins with taking a peaceful moment to journal. Yeah? It begins with maybe even taking a moment to go to a women's wellness retreat, a seminar, a day retreat, right? Finding community and building soft, safe landings and spaces where people are also aware and not victim shaming. Building a community that is well grounded in love and commitment to sisterhood is what is important. Having those sounding boards is very important. Being able to be completely honest and not shaming each other in the experiences that we have, but rallying with each other in the experiences that we have. Because it's a community of women that are uplifting women, right? Victim shaming is absurd. To say, well, he hit her, but what was she saying? How did she piss him off? He's generally a good dude. I can't see him doing something like that to her, but he did it. Okay? He did it. So he's not a good guy. Let's take that out. Okay? We can't keep making excuses for men. It's not all men. It's this one, it's that one. Well, it was just a few. It's all of you till it's none of you. I stand on that. This is a space that stands for protection, awareness, and accountability. And as women, we have failed each other in standing up with each other for one another. And even if you've never experienced these types of things, right? You can relate. You've seen a Lifetime movie. Hello, Google exists. We can help each other the best way we can without shifting the blame to her. I know this was a heavy topic, a heavy one. And a couple of times I was fighting back tears, y'all, because I feel I feel very responsible for you and for all of us women, Black women for sure. And it's an alarming rate at which we are being unalived by our partners. We stand for women here. We stand up for women here. We do not tolerate abuse of any kind. We do not victim shame. And we tell the truth about our experiences and we hold our abusers accountable. If something is happening to you, please report it. There needs to be a paper trail. But also, I need you to talk to your community, your sisterhood about it. And I need you to get away. I need you to use your discernment and I need you to leave. I don't need you to make this big announcement. I'm leaving because you keep, okay? That don't work too well. It don't work well when we talk about it. Be about it. If it ain't working for you, come on, kids. Come. Yep. And we out. Safety is first. Safety is first. If something is happening to you, report it. I say that again. Report it. Please. It's not a light thing. It's very heavy and it's very serious. Report the abuse. Sometimes it's not that easy, but if you follow steps, right? You got to report it. You got to tell a friend. You got to tell a family member and you have to get away. It's quite possible that these steps could save your life. I do have the National Sexual Abuse Hotline number here, 1-800-656-4673. Okay. You can report any incidences of sexual abuse or misconduct that make you feel uncomfortable. There are also so many websites now that have, even just in the past 48 hours, been developed in order to help to stop the rape of women and to be able to report the abusers on the websites. Tons. Do your research and report it, because it could not only just save you from potential harm, but it can also save someone else from potential harm of the same assailant. Okay? Whew. Oh my gosh, you guys. Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. You know, this was an insanely hard topic. I was even fumbling over my words in the beginning because I was just so overwhelmed, right? Like, so overwhelmed. I mean, is it going to be the man or the bear? Sometimes I'm just like, give me the bear and I'm out in lion because I can't face the man. Sometimes it's just too much. It's too many layers. We're friends, then we're booze, then you're trying to kill me. I can't take it. I don't know what to do. So give me the bear. Give me the bear. That's all I have to say. But if this podcast resonated with you at all, please like, share, and subscribe. Share with a woman who needs to be uplifted and informed. Share this with a man who needs to be informed and possibly course corrected, right? Share with a mother who's raising her sons. Share with a father who's raising his sons. How about just share it? Just share. Because the more we know, the more we help each other, the more we guide each other towards moral justice and like human being, like decency. I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the words. Just the better off we will be as a community, as a world, right? As a country, even. I mean, that's another topic. But I do feel as though we're not angry enough, right? But it's time for us to light a fire. It's time for us to get angry because we haven't been saying enough about women's rights. We haven't been saying enough about the culture of violence towards women. And we have to be angrier than we are, for certain. And so with that, I'm going to say, please follow this podcast at www.aprilmarieholland.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at handleherwithcare_podcast. Handle her with care_podcast. That is, again, handle her with care_podcast, as well as on YouTube, handle her with care podcast. Okay. You can also follow my personal page at ROXSTARR_life. And I look forward to seeing you and speaking to you soon. You know, this was a hot topic, but I believe that we could handle it because the fate of our world and our community and our existence as people, women and men, depend on it. I love you. Thank you for joining me. And always remember to handle her with care. Bye.